Hey guys! Today we're going to talk about what to do when you just don't know the answer to a question. So, I'm going to ask you two questions, and I want you to notice your reaction to each of them. Here's question number 1. What is the capital of Latvia? Now, here's question number 2. What do you want to do with your life? Now, you probably had a very different reaction to those two questions. So let's just break down exactly what just happened. When I asked you, what's the capital of Latvia? Chances are the answer did not immediately come to mind. And that's actually a circumstance. You asked your brain a question, and your automatic brain provided a reflex response. And that reflex response was, hey, we don't know. We searched our brain, the answer is not here, so we're giving you this answer, we don't know. That's all that happened. And when you noticed the fact that you don't know the answer to this question, your thought about that was probably something like, I can figure it out. And when you think I can figure it out, you probably feel matter of fact or calm or neutral. And when you're feeling that way, you might Google, you might ask someone, you might take a guess. You'll basically just try a bunch of things to see if you can find out the answer. And the result of those actions is that you figure it out. The fact that you didn't know the answer was not a problem because your reaction to not knowing created a set of feelings and created a set of actions that led to you figuring out the answer. Now, let's go to the second question. What do you want to do with your life? The circumstance here is probably the same. You ask your brain that question, and its automatic reflex response is like, I don't know. A single clear answer does not immediately pop into your brain. But your reaction to that automatic reflex that just happened is probably very different. You might have thoughts like, I should know the answer, or I can't possibly figure it out. And when you think that, you might feel anxious or afraid. And when you're feeling anxious, you probably are going to avoid the question altogether, or you'll try to figure it out, but you'll try in a frantic and unfocused way that's not very effective. And so the result that you create for yourself is that you don't figure it out. And so what I want you guys to realize is that the fact that you don't immediately know the answer to a question is not a problem. That's just an automatic brain reflex that happens instantaneously. You just realize, hey, single clear answer did not pop into my brain. That's all that happened. Now, you can make that into a problem based on how you react to it. Because if your reaction is, oh crap, I should know, I can't figure it out, something is wrong with me, you will feel anxious and you'll take a bunch of actions that will prevent you from simply and easily just figuring it out. So, you know what the circumstance is, you don't currently know the action, or you don't currently know the answer, and you know what your target actions are. Just try a bunch of stuff, talk to some people, figure it out. So the question for you is, what do you need to think and feel about the fact that you don't currently know the answer in order to drive the action of just figuring it out? That's the only thing that you actually need to answer in order to figure out all those questions that are bothering you. Whether it's, what do I do with my life? How do I have this difficult conversation? What do I talk about in the meeting? Should I marry this person? Should I quit my job? All those questions that stress you out, the fact that you don't know is not the problem. The only problem is your own reaction to not knowing, which is currently blocking you from just simply and easily figuring it out the same way you figured out hundreds of other things in the whole rest of your life. So, if you want to do more of this type of work, if you want to understand exactly what thoughts are holding you back, not just the surface level thoughts, but also all the supporting arguments and assumptions underneath them. And if you want to learn how to actually convince your brain to believe something different, not just by repeating affirmations, but by truly believing a new perspective on the problem. And if you want to actually apply that new perspective all day long in the actual situations where you need it. And if you want to have patience and compassion for yourself when the old way of thinking comes sneaking right back in, then you need to come and work with me. Click the link and book a coaching consult.